What is up, DMV basketball fans? Welcome into another Bleav in DMV Hoops. I'm Matt Moderno. I'm joined here today by Maryland guard, wing, forward. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a little bit. DeShawn Harris-Smith. DeShawn, how are things? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man. Classes have started back up, I'm assuming here. Is this week 2 for you?
Yeah, this is my second week. Yeah.
Okay. How's it going so far?
Good. I mean, class is fun. I like going to school, like being like a normal kid every once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I'm sure that's a nice change of pace for all the other time you guys put in. It's basically a full-time job there, being an athlete, but also being a student. So kudos to you for pulling off both.
Yeah, definitely fun. Definitely good balance.
That's cool. Before we get going, we're brought to you by Stateside Vodka and their Surfside Hard Iced Teas, hard lemonades. They're all delicious. And BetOnline, it's your number one source for all your betting needs this season, from MLB, golf, tennis, UFC, everything you can think of. Get the latest stats, news, scores available for your favorite teams. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for all your favorite sports out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, so last year, your freshman at Maryland, you averaged 7.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, a little over 2 assists, and about 1 steal a game. I guess just starting out, how was year one? How did you feel about things?
I mean, I definitely feel like I had my number of ups and downs, just like every other freshman.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like I went out there and played as hard as I can every single game. I mean, just try to be like the best teammate I could be. I feel like I didn't meet like certain expectations I had for myself, but I mean, that's what basketball is all about, being able to respond to that. So I feel like this year I'm going to come in with a huge chip on my shoulder and try to prove everybody wrong and just be the player I know I can be.
You mentioned expectations there and the ones for yourself, but you guys had a decent amount of hype as a team going into last year and also your recruiting class in general. Is that extra added pressure? Do you hear that? Is that something you pay attention to, or is it just you're more focused on your own expectations for yourself?
I mean, it's definitely something I hear. It's kind of hard, like just to tune all that out, just like coming from like family, friends, people in class, like even our coaches. I mean, everybody remind you how good you're supposed to be. I mean, I feel like for me, the main thing is like to keep basketball the main thing. Don't really worry about the outside noise. But I mean, it's just kind of hard because it's always there, especially like us having social media and how big it is today. So, I mean, I definitely try to focus on basketball, but I'm still going to hear the outside noise regardless.
Is that something you can go to like older teammates for at all, on any advice on how to manage or deal with that stuff? Were any of the older guys last year able to kind of help you kind of figure that out in your first year?
I mean, I definitely picked Jahmir's brain. JY was there since day one, just showing me like how to be a college basketball guard, how to take care of my body, how to deal with like the social media, deal with all the pressure. I mean, I feel like he definitely did a great job of taking me under his wing and just trying to show me the ropes. I was just picking his brain every day, trying to learn as much as possible.
Both from the DMV, so shout out to that. But did you know Jahmir going into last year? Like, had you dealt with him at all? You guys are a little further apart in age, so I wasn't sure how much you'd kind of cross paths before Maryland.
I mean, I knew of him. Like, I didn't really know him personally, but him going to Matha and him playing with Takeover, he was one of the people I looked up to growing up, just watching 17U when I was in 6th, 7th grade. So definitely was someone I looked up to my basketball journey.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's got to be a nice guy to be able to go to, as someone, who's kind of lived a similar experience, kind of going through the same ups and downs. So that's awesome. Yeah. I don't know. For me, having seen you play in high school, I feel like we didn't get to see the full extent of your game last year. I guess, did it feel that way for you? Like you weren't able to show all the things you can kind of do and bring to the table?
I mean, I definitely feel like I didn't show the player I can be. I feel like it's mostly on me just getting in my own head and stuff like that, like letting the pressure get to me a little bit, stuff like that. Like I feel like it was affecting my jump shots, and then like just me like playmaking, like kind of being scared of making passes I normally would have made and stuff like that. So I feel like this year I'm definitely going to come just like more relaxed throughout the game. I've been through it. I know how it is in the Big Ten and stuff like that. So I can definitely come with a more relaxed approach and just be me and like not play like carefree, not worried about everybody else, just worried about basketball and having fun.
Mentioned the shooting there. I think basketball is so much about confidence, but shooting specifically, and I think kind of collectively last year, there were a lot of guys on that team that shot lower than I think they were all capable of. Yeah. And I wonder if that's like, I don't know, was there like a snowball effect at a certain point of like, hey, we're missing shots we should make. Now every shot has like extra pressure and weight.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like it was a snowball effect just because like you're seeing teammates miss and kind of getting down on themselves. And then you hear all the outside noise. Like you go on Twitter and stuff, people saying we can't shoot and stuff like that. And then you could just see it yourself. Like you go after the game, see your numbers and stuff. I feel like it's definitely a snowball effect. Knowing JY's a great shooter, Dante's a great shooter, and their shots not going in. And then me being a freshman, I feel like I put so much pressure on myself just to be like perfect and live up to the hype. My shots wasn't going in, so I definitely feel it was a huge snowball effect.
I know competitors never really love the whole idea of a moral victory, but from the outside looking in, I appreciated how hard you guys competed. And hey, shots aren't going in, but that doesn't have any impact on the effort you brought on the other end of the ball. And I thought as
Yeah.
a team, you guys played really hard defensively, for like large stretches of the season. I guess, how did you feel about your team defense overall last year, but also just your individual defense in year one?
I mean, I feel like overall our team defense was great. I feel like I remember like a majority part of the year we had like a top 10 defensive rating in the
Mhm.
country. So I mean that's just kudos to Coach Willard and his schemes and stuff like that, trying to shut down every team's best player. But I feel like we all knew since our offense was clicking as we wanted it to that we had to pick it up on the defensive end, try to like make games scrappy, just have a grit on the defensive end. I feel like we did. And I mean, it kind of helped us in the end because there was a lot of games we lost by like 3 points. I think like we lost 7 games by less than 3 points. So I mean, if we hit one more three, then we right there. The season's a whole different outcome. But I definitely feel like my defensive pressure and mindset was just knowing like if I'm not making shots, I got to do something on the court. Knowing like JY and Ju having a lot of offensive load, I got to do what I can on defense because that takes no skill. That's just effort. I can go out there and play as hard as I want every single game, no matter if I miss 100 shots in a row.
You mentioned the offensive burden for those guys, but also I think they try to set the tone defensively too. Like
Mm-hmm.
when two of your veteran leaders are either your best perimeter defender, from like the exclusively guard position, and somebody that's blocking shots at the rim. I guess, how much does that kind of make everybody else be accountable when you see those guys bringing it at that level?
I mean, yeah, if you see JY picking up full court in our press and giving it everything he got, then I mean, how could you not? Like he's doing everything on the court. He's our best player, scoring, getting assists, guard, and so I feel like it definitely makes everybody want to guard. And the same thing with Juju, him not being like a huge big, him kind of being undersized at position, but still banging with like Zach Edey and everybody just gives everybody a little chip on their shoulder, a little extra little fight.
I think one of the biggest things about the Big Ten is there are really no nights off, and that's
Yeah.
been a common theme on this podcast. Just guys coming from the DMV that they're like the worst team in the WCAC is probably as good as most teams in every other league in the country. So
Mhm.
did that help you at all, just from a competitive standpoint? Like, I've got to bring at least my energy every night because I know that I can't have a night off, basically.
Yeah, I'll say I'm very grateful to be blessed to play in the WCAC, playing against high major guys every single night. Just like you said, like no nights off. Like you can go play against Zag and then go play St. John's and go play DeMatha. All got high level names of huge basketball history. So I feel like every game gonna be packed and just have like a certain energy about it that you won't have anywhere else. Then taking that mindset into college basketball, the Big Ten, one of the best basketball conference in the country. Like you said, every night is gonna be a dogfight. You're not really going to have no blowout games. So you just got to stick with it. Wins and losses, just keep moving, keep pushing, try and get the next one.
You talked a little bit earlier about just trying to get back to like, hey, I've been here, I've done this before, and being a little more relaxed in year two. Is that previous like WCAC competition something you think back to? Like, hey, you've guarded 5-star guards already. Like, this isn't really that new for you. So now in year two, you're a little more comfortable and adjusted. Is that something you can kind of lean back on, I guess?
Yeah, I feel like this was the same process I had to go through at PVI like my freshman year. Like everybody knew I had a little bit of potential. I played hard, I can guard and stuff like that. But I was kind of second guessing myself, kind of nervous. And I feel like I made the strides my sophomore year, junior year, senior year, and I feel like I'm gonna be able to do the same thing here at Maryland. And I definitely think like this summer I've been working on my mental a lot. Like I got a sports therapist, he's been helping me. I got like vision boards and stuff, like my whiteboard right there, just like stuff to remind me every single day that like I know what I'm doing. I've been here before. I know I can play here. I'm a high level guy, just like everybody else we playing against.
Does the school help with the sports therapist thing? Do they set that up? Is that like through the team?
Yeah, I mean, our trainer helped me. Like he knew I was looking for someone to help me, like just get my mindset right, because I feel like that was like 80% of like why I didn't meet every expectation I was because of my mind. So yeah, it was definitely through Maryland. They helped me.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and I'm glad they're doing that and supportive of that too. Talked about the mental side here. From a physical standpoint, like you're a big physical dude, you play a physical brand of basketball, but was that at all like kind of a surprise last year of just how big a step up? Like the Big Ten is a very physical basketball conference, even for 23-year-old dudes. Did that take like some adjustment for you?
I mean, I feel like just the speed of the game, like just making reads faster, like coming off a pick and roll. Like in high school, I would just have more time to like sit there, like keep a defender on my back. But in college, like you gotta make your reads like 0.5 seconds, or it's not going to be there. I feel like the physicality, I feel like I was so physical in high school that when I got here, it wasn't like a huge step up.
Mhm.
Like just, I feel like just everybody's like strong. Like there's no one
Sure.
that's in college that's like just weak like how it is in high school. But I feel like just physically, I feel like I was able to like bang with everybody I had to guard, even if I had
Mhm.
to switch on the floor or whatever. I feel like I held my own. So, I mean, I'm just going to take that mindset into this year and just try to be more physical.
Yeah, that's awesome and really good to hear. And just along those same lines, like, uh, I guess basically like from a physicality standpoint, was there also some amount of like, just figuring out when to pick your spots a little bit, when to try to like back a guy down or when to try to like take a guy, strong to the rim? Is that part of just picking and choosing your spots a little bit of a learning curve too?
Yeah, definitely this year. I feel like I just gotta become more efficient, like you said, just knowing when to do the right things, knowing when to pass, knowing when to shoot, instead of just kind of being in my head and be like, I gotta score this time, I gotta make an assist this time. Like I just gotta go in there, just make the right play every single time, and good things are gonna happen. I feel like I've been watching a lot of film with Brent. He's one of our coaches. He breaks down film for me. I'll be watching a lot of guys in the NBA, just seeing how they get to their spots, how they're efficient. And I feel like I need to be way more efficient this year, get all my numbers up. So yeah,
Any specific guys you like to watch or guys you're trying to take little parts from?
I've been watching a lot of Drew Holiday,
That's
like
great.
him, navigating through screens and stuff like that. I've been watching Bruce Brown, just like kind of a lot of glue guys that have like a similar build as me that can guard
Mhm.
and stuff, play make a little bit, knock down an open shot.
I was literally just going to ask you about Drew Holiday specifically because when you
Yeah.
talk about just kind of holding your ground defensively, like Drew is like the classic stronger than he looks guy. No
Mhm.
one can move him. And I think like a couple even examples during the Olympics of just bigger dudes trying to back him down.
Yeah.
I guess, it's tough to do. I think one of the things you do so well is that the versatility you provide defensively. You can guard bigger guys, you can guard smaller, quicker guys. Is that something the team has talked with you about as your role this year? Is kind of being, hey, you're this versatile stopper and we're going to put you on tougher matchups regardless of position.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of the coaches have been telling me I should try to strive for that Big Ten Defense Player of the Year, just because they know I'm gonna have like the toughest matchups and just try to lock the other team's best player down. And that's just something I want on myself, because at the next level, I know I'm not gonna be a Kevin Durant scorer, Luka Doncic type of scorer. So I'm gonna have to do the little things, guard the best players. And I feel like if I start doing that now, it should get me prepared if I'm blessed enough to play in the next level.
Yeah, that's great. Just from like that same kind of perspective, I guess. Did you guard Jahmir a decent amount in practice last year?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of times in practice, like we go black and red, like black
Mm.
usually starters, red's the second unit.
Yeah.
Coach Willard put me on a red team a lot, just so, well, for one, I could work on my confidence and like
Mm.
just being a point guard and being able to rally the team around me, because I'm gonna have to do that more and more as my career goes on. And then another part of that was just guarding JY, because he's a first team Big Ten guy, so I was guarding him every single day. His quickness, him using a lot of ball screens and stuff like that. I feel like it's definitely gonna help.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that too, because if you can guard that guy, you can guard anybody in the country at the guard
Yeah,
position. So I think that's good practice, but also him guarding you is really good too, because he's,
yeah,
a ball hawk on people. So if you can protect the ball with him guarding you, I think you can do the same thing, against
yeah.
anybody in the country. In high school, you probably were a lot more on ball than you were last year. Was that a tough transition at all? And do you expect to have like the ball in your hands more this season?
I mean, I feel like it wasn't a tough transition, because I like earlier in my high school career, I played with like Doug, Jeremy, Trev. So I'm used to playing with like a lot of guards on the court. And then just me being a freshman, like I didn't totally expect Coach Willard to put the ball in my hands right away, just because it's a lot. And I was already dealing with like putting pressure on myself. So having to being a primary ball handler probably wouldn't have been the best option for me. Even though like everybody wants that, it probably wouldn't have been the smartest decision for me. And this year, I definitely feel like if I'm knocking down shots and stuff, being smarter with the ball, Coach Willard, I feel like he trusts me enough to put the ball in my hands. He already did last year, even though I wasn't shooting as well as I wanted to. So, I mean, if I'm knocking down shots, I feel like I'll be able to use ball screens way more, be able to navigate the offense. And then having two other guards is going to take the burden off my shoulder. Like last year, I feel like JY had a huge burden on his shoulder, knowing he's like the primary ball handler, like really the only one using
Mm.
ball screens, stuff like that. But we have three dynamic guards this year, take the load off everybody, make everybody look better.
You mentioned Kevin Willard and the word trust, and that was actually the next question I was going to ask you. Like, Coach Willard is a guy that doesn't play younger players if they're not at least bringing it on the defensive end. And you
Mm.
started 30 out of 33 games I guess that shows he trusts you a good amount even from day one. Talk about your relationship, with him a little bit and kind of that trust building process.
Yeah, I tell people all the time that Coach Willard kind of remind me of Coach Frello, like him just being a player coach. Like he's so worried about people making it to the next level and players developing more than like him chasing rings and stuff like that, trying to be the greatest coach of all time. He'd rather like 15 guys go to the NBA than him being like the best coach. So I feel like that's a huge part of why I came to Maryland, just because he told me he's going to sit down with me, lock in with me, and help me develop my game. And I feel like he made every promise that he promised me. I feel like he didn't have to keep me on the court at times, and he did, just because he trusts in the work I put in, and he trusts that's going to pay off for me and him later.
Just, I think in years past or eras past, like that first recruitment was really like the biggest choice guys had to make. But this year it's really, or this era now, it's kind of every year you basically get to make that same choice again. And you never entered the portal. You kind of said early on here, like, hey, I'm back, I'm ready to do this thing, is a big part of that real, the relationship you had with Coach Willard.
I mean, yeah, that, and just like like you said, like the trust he already showed in me. Like there's a lot of times where like I didn't need to be in the game. Like I wasn't making shots. I might have turned the ball over and stuff like that, mental lapses and stuff. And he's stuck with me every single game. Like he never sat me out. I never did not play. Like there's no need to leave. Like I feel like everybody just wants the opportunity to play. He put me in the game. I was playing 27 minutes a game. I had the ball in my hands. He wasn't really holding me on the leash. So, I mean, everything that went wrong and like with me is because of me. Like nothing Coach Willard did or any other coaches did. It was all because of me. So there's no point in leaving when I could just stay here, lock in, get the opportunity again, and just make the best of it.
Well, as a Maryland alum and a Maryland basketball fan, I'm glad that you're back too. So selfishly, that's good. And I'm glad here it's, the right decision for you too. But how much did just sort of the other guys coming in factor into that too? Or just the guys that were sticking around? Like there's a pretty good like DMV, DNA in this team essentially. Did it help having guys, kind of coming into the program and things like that too?
I mean, I feel like we definitely needed help because I feel like I'm a winner. I've won at every level I've been at. So last year was kind of tough, like going through a losing season. So, I mean, I was all with all the help that he brought in. And, like, he was trying to explain to me that, like, he didn't want me to have to go through what JY went through last year, like just being the only primary ball handler and stuff like that. So when I thought about it like that, bringing in two other guards that can help me get extra assists, they can help me get easier shots like that. I feel like it was a no-brainer to want to bring up guards and to help us win more games and just be a better team overall. Because if we win, everybody want to get what they want, man.
Talk to a couple other guys you grew up playing with in the area here on recent episodes that are going into their sophomore years for teams that also maybe didn't have as good a year last year as they would have thought, like Jaden Winston and Jacoy Hutchinson and guys like that. And a recurring theme for them too was kind of unfinished business being a reason like to come back. And I feel like that's a very like DMV mentality of like, nah, we're turning this thing around. Like I'm not running from it. So it's cool to hear you talk about that too.
Yeah, I feel like those guys, I mean, I've been winning with them since 8th grade. So I feel like we all got the same mentality, all not used to losing, but we're not guys that's going to quit and like go join the bandwagon. Like we're going to help like our coaches took a chance in us. So we're going to help them bring the program to where we want it to be.
Yeah, like you said, all winners, all from winning high school programs, all won together for a long time, and not running from that, super cool. And also, I think, there's something extra. Like I think the victories are that much sweeter when you can kind of be the one to like turn it around. You're not showing up at a team that went 33-1 or something the year before. Like you can be a big piece of that.
Yeah.
How was the offseason for you? Anything specific that you're working on for this year that you're feeling like you're going to be able to add to your game or show that you didn't get to last year?
I mean, I feel like I've been working on getting to my spots. A lot of like pick and roll pull-ups and stuff like that, floaters, get more of an in-between game. So I feel like last year, if it wasn't a three, I was trying to get all the way to the rim, but that's kind of like not realistic in college basketball. Sure. And then just getting as much shots up as possible. So when I get in the game, there's no pressure. It's just muscle memory. I've done this a million times. I've definitely been working on defense with our weight trainer. I've been on like the slide board, just making sure I can guard all 5 positions. And my mind, been working on my mind, my body. I've been trying to slim down, lose a couple pounds. I feel like early in the season, I gained so much weight from like lifting and stuff, and I just feel like I'm naturally heavier. That I've been trying to lose a little bit of weight, get some athleticism back.
Gotcha. The unfinished business thing we just talked about, is that a theme throughout the team here? Like, or is that kind of something you're noticing from other guys? Like, that's motivating people to work extra hard this offseason?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like Coach Willard hasn't. That was the first time in 9 years that he didn't make the tournament. So he's been harping about that all summer. Like, he can't let that happen again. And then, like, I just had a dream of playing in March Madness ever since I was a kid. And finally getting here and not being able to achieve that just kind of sucked, left a feeling in my stomach that I don't want to feel no more. So I feel like we all, like, the aura and just, like, the energy of this team is way different than last year. Not to say that last year teams was bad, but this year I feel like just everybody got a chip on their shoulder. We get extra shots. Like, we're not really complaining. We just here to work and here to win. And I feel like we brought the right guys in to do that.
I think some teams too, you can have all great guys and all like each other and all be about the right things, and things just never maybe fully gel or work out exactly the way you want them to. And I think it goes back to that snowball thing sometimes. Like, you can get a couple bad breaks and get a little unlucky, but it's good to hear that this year's group is kind of locked in and on the same page.
Definitely.
Anybody that's either coming back from last year or one of the new guys that's either surprised you or you're having a particularly good like chemistry with so far on the court?
I mean, I feel like, for one, I feel like our team is just way closer this year. Like, last year we didn't really hang out that much off the court, but this year we're with each other every day. Like, if we not Xfinity Center, we in someone's room chilling, watching a game, go getting food with each other. So for the first thing, our chemistry is way closer. Then, I mean, Derik came in and been everything like the hype has been about. He's been a dog on offense and defense, holding his own, scoring, passing, just like everything that people say he could do, he's been doing. Juju totally fixed his shot. I'm really proud of him. He came in the gym every day at 8 a.m., locked in, fixed his shot, making threes over the break, just shooting his jump shot with confidence. Jacoby came in and been great. Like, he kind of plays like JY, I feel like, but maybe could shoot a little better. Like, I feel like he's going to be a great guard for us. Selon came in, scoring, shooting the lights off the ball and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like we just got a great group of guys. Like, everybody on our team can start. Like, we got 13 starters, I feel like, this year. Like I said, everybody's been coming to work. Everybody gets extra shots up. Like, you won't walk in the gym and not at least one of us is in there. So I feel like everybody really surprised me. I really love this team. I feel like we're going to be special.
That makes me so happy to hear just for you guys, right? Like, that's got to be just a good feeling to know, like, all right, I got 13 dudes here and we're all about the exact same thing going into the year. And, you know, your coaching staff is the same way there too. Those guys are all like serious guys from that perspective and winners in their own right too. So that's very cool. And I'm sure Maryland fans listening to this are going to love hearing that as well. Just any thoughts on how this year's team, like if this year's team is as successful as you guys all want it to be and think it can be, what needs to happen? Like, what's the identity of this team? Is it a defensive team? Is it a running team? You know, what are you guys kind of building there, I guess?
I feel like, for one, just us having 3 dynamic guards that can get up and down. I feel like we got to play fast. Mm-hmm. And then we all got to share the ball. Like, we got a lot of pieces that come in that can score, that can shoot. But I mean, if we play on one-on-one ball, it's not really going to help. Like, it's only going to help us if we all coming in and playing together. So I feel like for the first 2 things, we definitely got to play fast and then play together. Then our defense should stop. Like, if we had this much offense last year but played the same amount of defense, I feel like our season would have been totally different. So if anything, the defense got to crank up a notch just because we bigger, more athletic and stuff. Our team's kind of older this year, so I feel like we still got to be the same gritty defensive team, getting our press, turn guys over, make them get out their offense. But on the offensive end, we should be able to make more shots, share the ball more, and not just rely on 1 or 2 guys.
And yeah, use your defense to create some easier looks and easy offense and stuff like that too. You mentioned the press there. I think that was something that worked a good amount last year, but you guys didn't really have like the depth to be able to do it probably as much as everybody would have liked. So is that something we're going to see more this year, you think?
I mean, yeah, I definitely don't think Coach Willard is going to turn back the notch with the press, especially because he thinks Derik kind of lazy right now. So he's going to make him get up and down in the press. He always making fun of Derik about being from like going to Montverde, the sunshine making him a little soft. So I feel like we're going to be in the press just to show Derik he got to play a little bit harder. And then, like you said, we got a lot of guard depth. Rodney, Jay, Selwyn, me, Kobe. I feel like we can sit in the press all day. And then Tafar and Jordan at the second line, we got a really athletic wing. So I feel like we definitely going to be in the press a lot this year.
You mentioned Coach Willard giving Derik a little bit of a hard time there. Is that something that you're taking on a leadership role with some of the freshman guys of just how hard they need to work and the stuff that you said JY did for you? Are you trying to pay that forward with the younger guys this year?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm doing that with Derik. He's probably my closest teammate right now. So I'm always on him about working hard, trying to get to the next level because everybody knows he has NBA level talent, but he got to play as hard as an NBA player does. So I feel like I've been on him a lot, just trying to take care of his body, make sure his mindset's right, and just go out there and give it his all. Like not pacing himself, like he got empty the tank every day.
I think pacing himself is probably like a good way to look at that, because you look at that Montverde team. One, they were so stacked, and two, he had other bigs. There were other guys like they could rotate through. He probably didn't have to do, hey, here's 28 minutes of like absolute 100% effort the whole way through. So I'm not that he can't do it. I'm sure that's just a little bit of a learning curve, that he'll have to work through too.
Yeah.
Any other thing that you can think of from this year's team that you'd want Maryland fans listening to this to know or think would be interesting for them to hear about, just stuff you guys have been working on or any of that?
I mean, I just would like just probably preach, like I said, like the energy is like totally different. Like everybody coming in early after conditioning, we're gonna get in shots. We go in the weight room like not complaining and saying like this is hard, but just going in there with a chip on our shoulder. We motivating each other every day, just like we closer. Like I said, like the chemistry. I feel like this like it kind of give me like a memory of my PVI team, like how we was also close, but had so much talent, just had one common goal. Like I feel like we have no selfish people on this team. Everybody just trying to win as much as possible, because we all know if we win, then everybody's going to be able to eat at the end of the day. So I feel like this is a team we should really be excited for, a team that's going to surpass expectations, not just meet them.
I think that's the other word I hear in there. It sounds like a fun group to play with. And when you guys have fun, I think fans can feel that, and that's more fun. And then hopefully they can bring the energy back to you guys too. So I think a more fun this year for everybody involved. It sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, definitely more fun.
Just a couple lighter ones. We'll get you out of here in a minute, but just anything that fans might not know about you, something you're willing to share with us off the court, whether it's a guilty pleasure TV show or a hidden talent or anything like that, or what's the, something that you're willing to share for us.
Yeah, for one, I watch a lot of anime, like Naruto, One Piece, like that's my favorite shows. And then like if I'm not on the game and stuff, hang out with my friends, I do a lot of Legos.
Nice. Yeah. Any particular type or style of Lego you like to build? Like, are they models of things or? Yeah,
I just finished like a Simba one.
Okay.
I did Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I just finished like this Mario one. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Any of the teammates into the Lego thing at all? Like you have any help, or are you doing it alone?
I do it by myself.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's cool. Favorite food or anything on campus? Like you got a go-to spot?
My favorite food is like seafood boil, probably.
Oh, that's cool. It's a true Marylander. They're liking seafood too.
Yeah.
The whole point of this podcast is just tell other good DMV stories and help people from the DMV kind of share, their corner of the DMV. Mm-hmm. Any one story that comes to mind for you about like just how stacked this area is with basketball talent?
I mean, I just feel like you see it every single year. Like if you look at on any AAU circuit, like Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, like you're going to see like a Team Durant, Team Takeover at the top, or DC Premier, Team Loaded. I just feel like wherever you look, like DMV basketball is just always going to find a way to rise to the top, just because I feel like we got a chip on our shoulder at all times. So, I mean, I really rep the DMV. I love being from here. I wouldn't change it for anything. And I just feel like if you come out here, you're going to see the amount of players we have. Like, you go to the local, like, rec center or whatever, you're not going to find no bumps. There's going to be talent there. There's going to be guys that play hard and not just play cool. Like, they trying to play the right way at all times. Just, like I said, everybody got a chip on their shoulder.
Is this the best basketball area in the country?
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
I love that. That's the answer I was looking for there. A couple people lately have been giving me a little hesitancy on that. They don't want to commit, but you went all in, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
Any social media accounts of yours that you want to share for folks if they want to continue to follow, your journey throughout the course of your year?
Just my Instagram is that dog DeShawn.
Love that. Sean, thank you, man, so much for doing this. It was really fun to have you on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to a great year from you guys, and I'm sure all Maryland fans loved all the stuff you had to share with us too. So thank you again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, everybody. If you're listening to this on YouTube, click that like button for us. Rate, review, subscribe. We always appreciate those things. We're brought to you by betonline.ag, and we will catch you all next time.